Am I the butthole for screaming at my sister and telling her she is not actually pregnant? I, 35 female, am pregnant with my sister's, 30 female, child. My sister has some fertility issues and is not able to have a safe pregnancy. I offered to carry the baby for her and her husband. I am now currently 6.5 months along and everything is going well. Once we found out I was pregnant, my sister made the decision to live like she herself is the one pregnant. I found it odd, but I didn't see an issue with it. I understood that she is going through an emotional time. I mainly thought this was going to be something just between her and her husband. I was wrong, and she has begun to act pregnant in her daily life. At first, it was just small things like having her husband run out to get food she was craving, but it developed into things like wearing maternity wear. She also gets annoyed if I talk about my cravings or pregnancy symptoms around her. These things don't bother me much, and I just think my sister wants to feel involved. Today my sister wanted to go shopping to look at baby things since the stores have reopened in our area. The day started with her getting angry whenever sales staff would talk to me. I would explain to the salespeople that my sister is the mother whenever it was needed. After a few stores, we arrived at a baby retailer where she wanted to make a baby registry. By this point, I was extremely tired and wanted to go home. I had told my sister this, and she promised this would be the last store. I must have looked exhausted because as we were waiting, the salesperson brought over a chair for me to sit while the registry paperwork was done. When she brought it over, she did say something like, "Here's a chair for Mom." I didn't correct the salesperson this time and just sat down. My sister told me to get up and give her the chair after I had sat down. I asked her why and tried explaining that I was tired. My sister berated me by saying the salesperson said the chair was for the mom and that she was supposed to sit. She said that this was her registry appointment, and how dare I act as if this was all about me. She said she was the one who was the expectant mother and that she needed to sit down now. I told my sister that yes, she is going to be the mother, but I am the one that is currently pregnant. I snapped at her that she is not actually pregnant and does not get how exhausting it can be. I told her I am trying my best to appease her, but she is being ridiculous. My sister began to cry, saying that I was shaming her for not being able to get pregnant and that I was making fun of her. I tried to defend myself and tell her that is not what I meant. She wouldn't listen and ran out of the store. Everyone in the store was staring at us. They were looking at me, as I was a complete monster after hearing what my sister said. My mother says that I should have just let my sister have the seat. I know this whole thing must seem so small and stupid because it's about a chair. I don't know if I am the butthole in this situation or not. Not the butthole at all, but it sounds like your sister may need therapy. Edit. Thank you all so much for all the awards. I've never gotten a Reddit award before, I'm so surprised. I agree. I am sure at some point she will be cutting you out of her and the baby's life. She will see you as competition and worry that the child will love you more. She won't ever be able to let it go, and may be terrible to the child if they remind her of you. Please ensure that you have a chat with her husband and your parents prior to handing the baby over. She may suffer from her own version of postpartum when the baby gets here and she faces the enormity of it all. I couldn't agree more. I think she will cut you off in every family holiday, etc. She will ask that you not be invited because it makes her uncomfortable. You may lose more than your sister. Until she wants baby number 2. Then she'll be sweet as pie. F. Not the butthole, they skipped that part. Honestly, after how she's behaving now, I would never want to be a surrogate a second time. I've seen PAP treat birth mothers in the exact same manner as original poster is currently being treated. Infertility can bring out the worst in some women, unfortunately. It's caused by extreme insecurity and jealousy of the highest magnitude. Shudders. I honestly feel really bad for both sisters here. It has to be extremely hard on Op's sister to be reminded every day she couldn't do the one thing society has told her over and over was her birthright, all that she was really good for in some cases. But she ought to have been in therapy from the start to deal with these awful emotions and not taking it out on her sister. Meanwhile, original poster is doing an incredible thing for her sister, and she's been very understanding of her sister's odd behavior, but it still doesn't excuse the fact that her sister has taken her anger out on her. I can't even imagine what original poster is dealing with now. I really hope things get better for her. After how she's behaving now, I'd have serious misgivings about handing this baby over. She seems pretty narcissistic and selfish, and not mature enough to have a baby. Perhaps therapy would help. I agree with you about the sister's rotten attitude, which is clearly rooted in insecurities, jealousy, and feeling inadequate. The sister needs therapy. However, if I'm reading the situation correctly, original poster is acting as a surrogate because her sister can't safely carry a pregnancy. I understood that the baby is biologically the baby of the sister, and her husband. Original poster is not the biological mother, so she has to give the baby to her sister. I don't get the sense that original poster even wants to keep the baby. She's, rightly, struggling to cope with the physical and emotional demands of the pregnancy, while her sister seems to be descending ever deeper into a mental health crisis. I feel for both of them, but given the extreme generosity of original poster to put herself through this, for the sake of her sister, it is totally out of line for the sister to attack Op, just because she's upset that she can't carry the baby. She should just be very thankful that original poster is willing to do this for her. The sister needs therapy urgently. She is suffering from some sort of mental illness, and as such, I fear that her jealousy over original poster giving birth to her child will result in some sort of postpartum depression or psychosis. This would be unsafe for sister and her baby. The rest of the family need to support Op, as she hasn't done anything wrong. If they want sister, her husband, and the baby to do okay, they all need to talk to sister, sympathetically, about how strange and unacceptable her behavior has been, and how she needs to appreciate that original poster is giving her the option of biological motherhood. If I was Op, I definitely would not carry a second child for sister. It's not worth the trouble. There needs to be a family intervention, when they all get together with sister and try to get to the root of the problem. They need to tell her that although her feelings are understandable, her acting as she's physically pregnant herself, is frankly strange and disturbing. They must find a way to get her proper mental health help. Perhaps her primary care physician can refer the sister to a good psychiatrist, with a side order of CBT with a psychologist. I think that original poster should at least seek some talking therapy, or surrogate mother support group. Original poster is dealing with all the unpleasant physical and emotional effects of pregnancy. She is being bullied by her own sister, just for the audacity of giving her sister exactly what she wanted. More than anything, her own biological child. Therapy, therapy, therapy. Please make sure that they are having extensive therapy. But what if original poster doesn't want the baby for herself? She only agreed to carry it, not raise it. Not that you're wrong. I don't think the sister should get the baby either. Ding ding ding. We have a winning answer. Congratulations, you are literally a baby factory to your sister. That level of venality is gobstopping. Original poster needs to watch the calendar. Being one of 7 and the only one without kids, I've noticed something about parents. They tend to have more kids once the crap from the first pregnancy is forgotten. Usually 2 years. Op's sister has had none of the trauma, aside from everything she's creating. I'm predicting original poster gets asked to carry a second kid inside the first year. 1. Original poster may also need to shut down her sister's idea of more kids right away. Hubby is waiting on his wife hand and foot, and putting up with being treated poorly, parents are humoring her, etc. It's a lot of attention. She'll want more. Good luck, Op. You have all the headache, none of the fun. You didn't even get to enjoy the insemination. There won't be a baby number 2 by me lol. I'm done after this one. Done with surrogacy, or done with your sister? Trick question. You're done with both, because once you pop, your sister will run so far away from you. You will never be allowed near her baby. She will simply pretend you don't exist, and never did, so she can maintain her pregnancy/birth story that she will tell herself. Honestly, at his point, I don't even think she should have this baby. She has clearly lost touch with reality. If an actual surrogacy agency saw behavior like this, they would have very serious questions. She is utterly delusional. Good. Pregnancy is tough, and your sister isn't willing to treat you as if you are pregnant and help you along despite this amazing thing you are doing for her. You'd be crazy to do it a second time. Wow, that is effed up if her sister sees original poster as nothing more than a womb for her child. I'd argue that psychologically that is even worse. This. Feel so sorry for Op. She's doing something incredible for her sister, and if the sister doesn't get help, original poster is going to lose her, the kid and maybe more of her family, depending on how influential the sister is and how strong the rest of the family are. I'm concerned for the baby. The sister does not sound stable at all. And I'm talking as an unstable person. That poor baby. Not the butthole original poster, you're doing her a huge favor. Like incredible. You do not deserve this treatment, you should be pampered by them. That's the custom with surrogates. If I was your sister, I'd be so grateful, I'd be running around making you happy. Her sister has some need to delude herself that she's the pregnant one. It shouldn't come at the cost of the baby or you. Once you have kids, your selfish days are over. The sister is a bad bet for a mother. I feel very sorry for the child you are carrying. Not the butthole. My thoughts exactly. WTF kind of selfish toddler-esque behavior is that? She cares more about getting her way than for the health and well-being of not only her sister but her unborn child as well. I would be bending over backwards to help, thank and acknowledge my sister if she was carrying my kid for me. That's a huge favor original poster is doing for sis. I think it's too broad a stroke to just call it toddler-esque behavior. She's obviously going through a lot. Doesn't mean she isn't the butthole in this situation, but I think to dismiss her behavior instead of advocating for her to see a therapist isn't going to solve anything. You can call out someone's crafty behavior while also saying they need a therapist to get their crap together. It sounds like she's been a butthole for a solid 6 months, she needs called out on it and thrown in a therapist office. I have been encouraging her to see someone, but she won't agree. She thinks that what she is doing is normal. She needs some sort of therapy or counseling. I'm seriously concerned for her and the child you're carrying for her at this point. She's not being rational. Is anyone but you concerned? Not really. Oddly, most people in my family feel like it's normal for her to behave like this. She has been through a lot with her fertility struggles, and I think people might be babying her. Can you talk to your doctor or lawyer that's helping to facilitate this surrogacy and make them aware you're worried about her and giving this child to her? She's acting irrationally and you fear for the child. She refuses to get therapy and won't listen to anyone. Maybe they can help because yes, this is legally her child, but its welfare should come first. If she's not going to be capable of taking care of it appropriately, then she shouldn't be given the child until she can. Is it legally her child though? In many areas it's technically the birth mother's child until paperwork goes through, and there are cases with either party changing their mind at the end, which is obviously traumatic for everyone. Sister clearly has mental health problems which will impact on her ability to parent if she doesn't get them addressed. I agree original poster should raise this with her doctor and her lawyer, especially as other family members are normalizing her behavior. Surrogacy is one of those gray areas in legal practice and doesn't work like a traditional adoption. I am not a lawyer, but there's a lot of complicated law surrounding surrogacy since the child is, presumably, genetically the sister and her husband's via some IVF protocol, or they use donor gametes that they have full legal rights over, and original poster is just the gestational carrier. It is entirely possible that their preconception surrogacy agreement establishes that the offspring is sister and husband's, and that original poster has zero parental rights upon kiddo's debut into the world. Op is not the butthole and should definitely bring it up with her own lawyer and doctor, but there may be jack all she can do regarding the child to be eventually being handed over to her sister. I don't think the point of talking to their doctor or lawyer is to not handle the baby to the sister once is born, but to somehow make it a requirement that the sister goes to therapy before and after the baby is born. It is one thing for her to want to feel involved and to have some psychosomatic things like the cravings or whatever. It is quite another to think she needs the damn seed and ignore how hard this is on your body. It enters the delusional, but also being incredibly ungrateful to you for this huge sacrifice you are making for her. She should be treating you much differently. I'd be making sure you were as comfortable as possible. This kind of behavior is only normal in Gilead. Give your sister a teal dress and she'll fit right in with Serena and the rest of the cast of The Handmaid's Tale. Literally, the first thing this post reminded me of is how the wives in The Handmaid's Tale pretend to give birth while the handmaids are upstairs actually giving birth. Blessed be the fruit. This is horrifying. Not the butthole, your sister needs therapy and I'm scared about the baby's future with that mother. Edit. Thanks for the silver. Imagine when the baby is born. The sister may cut original poster out of their lives because she'll be constantly reminded that she didn't give birth. Urgent therapy is needed. Op, Get mentally ready for what's to come. Your sister is not well. Until sister wants another baby or 3, then she'll act as if nothing ever happened. I have a pretty strong feeling they probably guilted original poster into this a little bit. Like there aren't any mentions of payment, but usually surrogates get paid in judging just by ops family reactions. This feels like a favor. The sister will Photoshop her own head onto her sister's pregnant body and tell their child how difficult the labor was. It gives me The Handmaid's Tale vibes. When a handmaid gives birth, the woman who will raise the baby pretends to be in labor and gets all the attention. And that's a horrifying dystopian story. Under his eye. May the Lord open. Blessed be the fruit. WTF. I've never heard of that. What happens to the handmaiden afterwards? She breastfeeds the baby and then gets shipped off to a different family to get raped/impregnated again. It's a fictional dystopian-style show on Hulu. It's a fictional society, but Margaret Atwood only used things that have actually happened in various cultures/societies when she wrote it. Edited to fix some autocorrect weirdness. Or were/are happening. Parts of that society are still happening in the real world today. I've read the book, didn't know it was now a show. If you get upset by rape and the abuse of women easily, I wouldn't watch it. I wasn't able to get past 2 episodes. I read the synopsis and was disgusted. It's really interesting, but I can't watch that kind of content. Yes. In that moment, she cares more about her own weird head trip than the health of her actual child. If the surrogate is worn out, that's not good for the fetus, but she could give less of a crap. Breathtaking and possibly pathological buttholery. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.